Ladies and gentlemen, the Flex Network is here. We're back in action. We've been missing a little while with the football content, but we're here tonight, and we're gonna bring you a show here. We got a lot of things to talk about. We got some scandals, we got to talk about a little bit about some schedules. We still don't even know if football's happening, but we're gonna talk about all that stuff. My name is Flex Mike. You can find me on Twitter at FlexMike11. You can find me on Twitter at the Flex Network 1. My partner coming from, it looks like, CenturyLink Field in Seattle, Washington, with the backdrop there, is coming straight out of the Seattle area. I won't say specifically. We don't need any stalkers over here, but we got the SnowMan. You can reach him on Twitter at AJSDeadSnow. You can also find him on these airwaves at what is the Twitter handle? Why am I blanking right now? At FlexNet
underscore
ahead.
P. We are at the FlexNet underscore PW Elite.
Yeah, and that's where you can find all of the wrestling content on the Twitter there for the Flex Network. You can also find us, the Flex Network. We are on Facebook. If you just search for the Flex Network on Facebook, we will pop up. I guarantee it. We've been kind of creating a little bit of traction for ourselves, and so we're doing our best there. But you know what, Snow? We got a lot to talk about today.
Yes, we do.
We'll kind of wait for some of our viewers to get real crazy about it. But the one thing that I will say is we have some just crazy news coming out of the Washington D.C. area.
You know what? I can personally say it from my view. I never thought I would see this day coming with this one organization. Literally, this day has finally come as the Redskins is officially dead in DC as a football team. Let me be clear.
Yes.
I don't want to get someone out there commenting like, "Oh, they're not really dead." It's like, I'm saying the team wise, the NFL recognized Washington Redskins that everyone has been complaining about, with the name and how everything. It's gone. It's going away, man.
Yeah, not necessarily just the Washington Redskins. The team is still there.
Yeah.
A lot of the personnel and the owner is still there, which seems to be the major problem. But
that's a whole nother bag of worms.
Yeah, the name Redskins and the name, just that whole thing. People have been calling for that for quite some time. And it's just about time that it's finally happened. I think what's his name? Dan Snyder there in Washington.
Snyder.
That's his name, right?
It's Snyder.
So Snyder there in Washington
is
so he's having a lot of problems, and we'll get into some more of the problems that they have been going through. But I'll just say that I don't know how you feel about it, Snow, but I'll just say my opinion real quick. My opinion has been that the Washington Redskins have just been a very dysfunctional franchise for quite some time. You've seen kind of like a quarterback carousel going on there. I remember back in, I probably want to say 2011, 2012, somewhere around there, Robert Griffin III's rookie year, playing the Seahawks in a playoff game in Washington, and the field there is grass, and it was just horrendous, and played the major part in the Redskins losing that game because of the conditions of the field. He ultimately tears his ACL, all that stuff, and he just was never the same. And it's just been a just a barrage of quarterbacks ever since then. And like I said, man, I just really feel like they have just been dysfunctional for so long. And they uh man, they just can't get it right, you know? I don't know what it is. They can't get it right. They seem just very dysfunctional from the top to the bottom. They say it starts at the top with the leadership and all of that, and we'll get into some more of that here in a second. But Snow, what are your personal feelings on, I guess, that franchise as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, just the same. I mean, this is a franchise that's been around, 88 years. And you would think that in that 88 years, you would have a team that is just so well known. And yeah, they're well known. They're well known for stupidity, ownership being stupid, making bad decisions, and really just being a terrible team. I mean, granted, they're not as bad as, Cleveland and the Browns, but still, I
Mm,
mean, it's like one of those things, like, which one smells the worst? Option A or option B? I mean, they both pretty well smell bad, but it's just they both smell bad for different reasons. The Browns, they just suck. The Skins, very well stupid stuff. And this, of course, is one of them. Just not a good organization. I mean, granted, you got 3 Super Bowl titles to your name. I mean, your last one came in 91, so it's not it's a little bit better, but it's just that kind of bad. I mean, to say the least, this day has finally come so much that the name has to go away, that even EA, the ones who do Madden for this next coming game, EA, Madden 21, they're going to they're going to remove the name and the nickname and all the colors, the logo. It's gone. It's when you pick after you pick up the game and you pop it in, and on the update, that will be that first update that comes in. If you can, if you're going to connect it to the internet, if you want to play with your friends, it will be gone. It will be gone.
yeah, I mean, as it should be gone. There's a lot of the formerly known as the Redskins, they are parting ways with that name, with those colors. Well, maybe not the colors, but the name and the nickname and all that stuff for sure. And it's long overdue. And yeah, so reports have come out. There was a report dropped by trying to remember exactly who it was. I can't remember. Some insider somewhere, a media guy, said that there was some bombshell news that was going to be dropped. And that was earlier this week, towards the beginning of the week. Then we found out that that the news, the bombshell that was dropped, was there were 12 separate women
Oh,
that had filed claims of or reports of sexual harassment in the workplace. There's only one woman that came out of the 12 and that detailed anything, and the reason for that is the other 11 women signed NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, which is a legal document that says that you cannot talk about it without the organization's permission. So there's one woman, and without getting into some of like the more disgusting details of the whole situation, some of the things are just inappropriate language, certain people telling these women and people that work within the building how they should dress, and commenting
yeah.
on their body parts and things of that nature. Just if you're in a workplace, a lot of things that are very inappropriate and should not be talked about. And honestly, if you're kind of acting that way outside of the workplace, there's a lot of other things that kind of need to be discussed also. But yeah, there's a lot of things that are going on within that organization that kind of proves that these things are this organization is this franchise is dysfunctional from an office standpoint. And not just that, but there has been other situations that prove that they have all of these problems. And Dan Snyder, the owner of the Washington football franchise, has said that He fired a couple of guys. I think one guy retired, one guy was fired, let go, whatever you want to call it. Um, and
Yeah.
and
It,
those were the guys that were in trouble with the whole situation. But yeah,
all the only thing you could say about this, everything with everything coming out from retiring the nickname and the logo, no longer being known as the Skins, and now this coming days later. I mean, if you're gonna screw up and you're going to go, take that retire that name, you might as well go out in a blaze of glory in one
yeah.
week.
Yeah, so right now what's looking like it's kind of trending towards is if you remember the guy that formerly owned the Los Angeles Clippers, Donald Sterling, he
Oh
had he had said some racist things and just some inappropriate things, and it was caught on a recording. And the NBA basically forced him to sell his team, and he sold his team. I mean, granted, he gets his money because like he put
yeah.
the investment in to build the franchise and to build the business and everything. But there's a lot of things that are going around with that franchise, and so right now it's really looking like they're trending
Sterling.
towards a Donald Sterling situation where Dan Snyder's going to have to come out and sell his team. But right now, that we haven't reached that point. But if you were to ask me, I would say that it's trending in that direction. And a lot of people have been calling for him to sell the team anyway because of his his inability to recognize the level of offense that the Redskins name carried. There were some people who, Native Americans, that came out and said the name wasn't offensive. I mean, I just feel like all that can be doctored and shaped into anything that you want. But I know there's a lot of people that are calling for the name to be changed. And now that the name has been officially dropped, we're just kind of awaiting and seeing, is this scandal going to take the front page, like what's going on, what's a new team name, new team mascot, all that stuff going to be.
Mhm.
So we'll see. Have you heard any names out floating around out there that might be
Well,
rumored?
no, I mean I haven't heard one, but there is one name that I kind of was thinking towards that I kind of remember. I mean, I remember it from a very very interesting movie with Mr. Keanu Reeves. If you remember in that movie, The Replacements and the Washington Sentinels.
That sounds cool.
That I would actually get behind that one. That one actually sounds pretty cool for a new name for the Washington D.C. team. We're just now going to call that team, the Washington team, the Washington D.C. team. We're just going to call them the D.C. team for right now until their official name comes out. The Skins are dead. We're not mentioning them anymore. But I think the Sentinels would be a good name.
Yeah, I've been saying the Washington football franchise is what I've been calling them, but yeah, I mean it's the same thing. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, they got a lot of problems on their hands. One guy on Twitter, I was actually just pulling up here. One guy on Twitter told me that he said we should call them the Washington Presidents because just like the Washington football franchise, we haven't had a good team of senators, presidents, whatever you want to call it, for the last 20 years. All the presidents we've had in the last 20 years have sucked, and so do he said, and so do the Redskins. So,
Man, why
so
don't you just
shout out to
toss
that
salt?
guy.
Why don't you just toss salt onto that wound? I mean, come on. I mean, damn, it's funny,
Yeah, seriously.
but man, kick them while they
Yeah.
down.
So, yeah, they have a lot of issues.
Yeah,
There's some other news out there. We'll move on from the Redskins, but you
we're
just know that there's a lot of stuff going on with them, and they're very dysfunctional at the moment, and kind of
yeah.
have
I
been
mean,
for quite some time.
well, yeah. It's just been they've been dominating the news recently, at least more. I mean, with everything going on in the world right now, or actually in our country right now, it's just utter chaos, and it just proves that 2020 just needs to die, be set on fire, and never spoken of again.
Right. So there's that obviously, and so we're kind of dealing with that and all that that entails and stuff. So we'll
Yeah.
we'll see about that. But any news, Snow, that stuck out to you this week? I guess over not just this week, but over these last few weeks, we'll get into a couple things. Anything off the top of your mind? I have a list here of things that we can go through, but I was just kind of seeing if there's anything that um, stuck out to you specifically.
Um, the only thing that really would come to mind would be how Dak is not signed. He's been franchise tagged again. Literally.
Right.
The Dallas Cowboys. I mean, here we go again. I know if I say the word Dallas Cowboys, I'm pretty sure Cowboy Cam will just pop up and just start defending his boys. So
Well, he's working right now, so I know that
I'm
he's
just
not going
making
to pop
sure.
up. But
I'm just making sure. But
the idea of
how
him being here,
yeah,
yeah,
it's a one of those feelings that you say it. It's like you say Beetlejuice 3 times and Beetlejuice, 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 and he pops up out of nowhere.
yeah.
Like, but Dak Prescott again gets franchise tagged. Do the words, sign this person, sign this cowboy, to a contract at least. Get him to something, even if it's a decent amount of money, for what he's going to be worth. Sign him to something. Don't just franchise tag him again. I mean, come on. What is this like? What, the third year in a row?
No,
That
no, no.
or that's
He's coming off of his rookie deal. This is the reason you think that it's the third year in a row is because they've really been talking about trying to get an extension for Dak Prescott for 2 years. Because once you kind of enter that window, per the CBA, it kind of tells you when you can start the negotiation process, and so once you get into that window, you can start the negotiation process. And so Dak has been in that window and they've been talking. And in the beginning, a lot of people have been kind of raising hell a little bit and saying, no way, Dak should be the highest paid
no,
quarterback in the NFL. He's not the
hell
best quarterback.
no.
But let me tell you this. Listen, pre Patrick Mahomes deal, right?
Yeah.
I think in the I think in the long run, within probably I'll say the next 6 years, I will say that Dak will probably end up making more money than Patrick Mahomes, just specifically based off of the way that the deal is structured for Patrick Mahomes, because it's a 10-year contract and it's a little kind of it's it can fluctuate from year to year. But one of the things that I'll say is Dak Prescott not getting a deal is absolutely ridiculous. I think one of the things that Dak Prescott should have done is been on his agent's back a little bit more, because if you remember when Russell Wilson signed his last contract, the one that he just signed, he took it all the way up to the final day and he said he was going to bed at like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and they had to sign this deal before training camp or something like that. And
Mhm.
he specifically told his agent, get as much money as you can. I'm going to
Mhm.
sleep, but get the max amount of money you can tonight and I'll sign it. And
And
so
you know
that's
what?
basically what happened.
He
Dak should have been on his agent's case in that same way.
Yeah,
Um,
literally. He Russell was basically woke up and was told, "Hey, you just got shown the money." And
yeah,
you know what? That was the best thing that could have happened because okay, in comparison to Dak and Russell actually can make a playoff and actually make it further and actually have a damn good season in a tough NFC West. Dak, I mean, yeah, he is good, but he's playing for Dallas in a joke of the NFC East. And for someone out there to go out and say, you know what, he's going to be he's worth, like this big amount of money. It's like, yeah, he probably could make a lot of, a big contract and everything. But to say that he's Patrick Mahomes or even like couple rungs below him on, at least contract
Well,
wise? No.
here's
He
the thing. Here's the thing, Snow. I don't think that he's trying to say those things. What I think he's trying to say is he's trying to say, "Hey, you have to remember something. Here's one thing specific to remember about the quarterback position in the NFL, specifically when it comes to quarterbacks. The quarterbacks, the quarterbacks' contracts are not based off of how good you are. Because at one point, Matthew Stafford, the quarterback for the Lions, was the highest paid quarterback in the NFL at a certain point. Ben Roethlisberger, when he was up there in years, age wise, and all that stuff, he was the highest paid at one point. And so you have to remember that playing quarterback in the NFL, you have to reach a certain bar to be a starter. But after you reach that bar, it doesn't really matter. You're going off of what the market says because the quarterback position is so valued. These teams value a guy that could lead their team, that could help them get into the playoffs, that knows what he's doing. And so it's literally the only job in the world that allows the market to set the salary. Because let me tell you something, man. If I at work, if I got paid for what the market said, I would probably get a raise. And so would you. If you got paid for what the market says that you're worth, you would get a raise. And that's when you factor into, hey, what is my job? Okay, now let's see what the national average is across the United States. You would get a raise. Quarterbacks, they don't follow the same rules that you and I follow working for whatever employee we work for, right? So
right.
the market sets it. So whether you're a guy who is Dak Prescott or you're Pat Mahomes, guess what? You're probably from year to year, you're probably pretty close to the same dollar amount. You just often see the guys that aren't as good, the Nick Foles of the world and the Mitch Trubisky's of the world, those types of guys that can potentially be starters on teams. Those guys will find their ways into contracts that aren't as big as like the upper level. There's a conversation to have with Dak Prescott about how good are you really, because Dak had great stats last year. He was very
Yeah.
inaccurate at times, but as far as there were games where he put up 300 plus yards and they still lost. And it's kind of like, man, at a certain point, you have to stop blaming Dak for these issues, because the issues going on with the team is not necessarily Dakota Rain Prescott. It is, of course, Jason Garrett, the head coach at the time, who was
Yeah.
causing these issues. He was a lame duck coach, and that's a very bad problem to have. And so you don't want that. The Cowboys feel like they're in a good position now with Mike McCarthy coming in as their head coach and all that stuff. And let's face it, Snow, from top to bottom, the Cowboys have a pretty talented roster. They have one of the best offenses on paper in the NFL. Their defense is real
On paper.
suspect. On paper, yes. And because we don't really know year to year, we've seen the Cowboys one year go 13-3 and come back the next year go 8-8, and then the year after that go 4-12. So we've seen that. So we have to kind of have those, you have to look at some of the stuff that's going on. Talent doesn't always dictate everything, because coaches can make boneheaded decisions. And so
Yeah.
that's where we're at. But if you're going to place blame on someone for the deal not getting done, who would you place blame on?
I probably would place the blame on Dak's agent for not getting it done. Because obviously, I mean, a little bit on the Dak because he's not pressing the issue like, hey, a little bit more, need to press a little bit more to, even if it's not a franchise tag, if it's a deal where I'm making a good amount of money as a quarterback. I mean, it may not be what the Dallas Cowboys would want, but even if it's a hair more, then yeah, push it, push the envelope a little bit. know what you're worth, but if it's something that's like you're coming down to the last little while and you're like, okay, the deal's not really getting done, no one's really talking, then it's like, okay, I gotta make the best decision for myself. And if it's gonna be if I'm gonna get franchise tagged, or if I'm gonna try to get a deal where I know it's like, okay, I can maybe a couple, in about 3 years, if I have, 3 good seasons, then I could renegotiate, closer to the end of the contract. Depending on how long the contract is, I mean, yeah, how long the deal is, I could renegotiate, like extension or something. But again, it's just you got to go for something rather than, I feel like if you're going to get franchise tag, then that's kind of like, okay, yeah, I got franchise tag. Yeah, I get paid, but that's like just putting it out there like it's like you just got saved.
Right. So
And with no
I would
basically with no deal, but you just got saved. Like, okay, we're boom, you're saved. Like, thanks. I don't have a deal. I mean, I don't really have a deal. It's just I was just saved.
So here's the thing. I would actually lean a different direction. I would lean the direction of blaming the Cowboys. From what I've seen, the Cowboys don't seem to they don't seem to understand the market of what a quarterback price is. They want to place their own value on what they think the quarterback market is. Well, guess what? Every team's having to pay their quarterback. Not
Mm-hmm.
every team gets a quarterback on a rookie deal and makes it to the Super Bowl within that rookie's contract. I mean, Seattle did twice, and we got lucky, but
Mm-hmm.
not every team is doing that. The Cowboys were dangerously close when Dak was a rookie, and they haven't quite been back to that level since then. They've had a couple of seasons there where they look strong, but now that they're out of that, this is when the real trouble starts. They have a lot of things to work on. But if I were to place blame on anyone, I would place blame on the owners. Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, Will McClay, the guy that normally handles the. Will McClay is like a personnel guy. He handles the drafts usually and stuff like that. He's scouting players and all of that. But I'm not sure how much he has to do with contracts. I'm sure he gets a little bit of an input, but um that's kind of not his like expertise there. But since we're on this topic of the Dallas Cowboys, what do you say we roll on? I want to look at the Dallas Cowboys 2020 schedule, and you and I can sit here on record and we can kind of predict win loss, and we can maybe predict what their schedule is going to be by the end of the year. What do you say?
Okay. No, hey,
Okay, I'm gonna
you got that notebook ready? That infamous notebook ready?
Yeah, I don't exactly have the notebook in front of me, but I got some
Oh,
paper, and what I'm gonna do
oh, you'll
is I'm
transition
going.
it over to it.
Yeah, I'll get it. I don't actually know where it is right now, but I'll tell you right now that I'll write it down and we'll know. Okay, so let's start out week 1. We're going
The
Dallas
Rams.
Dallas Cowboys at the Rams. This is a 7:20 p.m. NBC, so Sunday Night Football, correct?
This
NBC, I believe that's Sunday Night Football.
let me
Yeah, it's got to be Sunday Night Football. Okay, so they're going against the Rams, which their logo looks very similar to looks very similar to the Chargers, which is also weird. But
I
um,
again, I can continue to laugh about the Rams logo. I mean, come on, guys. It's still funny looking.
yeah, it's very
Uh,
funny looking. But
but yeah, they are the Sunday night game
let's
for the
see.
actual for well, like they are the actual Sunday game, not for week 1, not the Texans and Chiefs that's going to be on NBC on
Right.
Thursday.
Okay, so that's a Thursday. Yeah, that's a Thursday night game. Okay, so Dallas Cowboys they have added some players. They added Gerald McCoy. They at the defensive tackle position, they added Ha Clinton Dix at the safety position, which they desperately needed because
Best
Jeff
name
Heath,
still.
yeah, that's the best name in football, no doubt. Um,
Clinton Dix.
they re-signed Amari Cooper to a monster contract, which is good for them. He got market value there. Um,
Hmm.
they they have they drafted CeeDee Lamb out of Oklahoma, who is a good receiver who was very productive in college and he was the best receiver on Oklahoma's team when he left. So there's some things there. You still got Zeke, you still got a lot of parts of your offensive line.
Hmm.
Um, the Cowboys drafted a good corner. Stephon Diggs' little brother is out there. Trayvon Diggs is out there at corner. It seems like he might start. Byron Jones, their best corner, parted ways last year. He went to Miami Dolphins. They gave him a monster contract, so of course he's there. Los Angeles Rams, I'm not quite sure what they've done. They got a lot of. They're kind of like in what we would call a salary cap prison right now. They have some issues. They mortgaged their future for their current state, and so those things are starting to come to fruition. The Super Bowl 2 years ago, and then last year they were a playoff caliber team numbers wise, but actually didn't make the playoffs because they play in the NFC West, which is the best division of football.
Hmm.
Um, and so there's a problem there. You got four teams that are capable of making the playoffs there. So unfortunately, only two would be able to make it, and that was San Francisco and Seattle. So let's go here, Snow. What do you think? Week 1.
Well, before I give you my answer, I'm just double checking to make sure that this will be the year that LA moves into their new home.
Yeah, they're in SoFi Stadium starting this year.
Yeah, I just want to make sure because uh it kind of adds a little bit to where, into my answer, because you got a brand new stadium. If your first home game is in there, regular season, and you're a Sunday night game, that's going to add some, juice to that, to where you want to open up this stadium the right way on the first Sunday night game of the year, and it's your first regular season home game. It's like, you want to do good.
Hey, but you
So
know what? You gotta watch what you're saying about the Cowboys here for a second,
I
because
know.
my my boy Correa is on right now, and
Yeah.
I was in the army with him, and he's a diehard Cowboys fan, so he might come after you if you say something a little too crazy here. So what do you
Hey,
got? Week 1, you got the Dallas Cowboys at the Los Angeles Rams. Where are you going?
no, no, the Dallas Cowboys got the Chargers. Oh, sorry, I was reading the wrong
No,
one. Sorry, wrong one. I
yeah,
was reading down.
yeah, we're
I
at
got.
the Dallas Cowboys are at the Rams.
I will pick. Sorry, but I'm going Rams.
Yeah, I disagree on that. I'm gonna go. So you're gonna go L.A.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you're gonna say the Cowboys have a loss to start Week 1. I'm gonna say they have a win to start Week 1. Um, I think there's gonna be a lot of things going on with the team. Um, I think I think the Cowboys have enough talent to beat the Rams. I think the Rams have had a lot of problems with defensive lines that give you fits, and I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to put together a defensive line that can give certain fronts fits. And what you don't know, because you don't live here and listen to sports radio here, is the Cowboys have developed a little bit of a rivalry with the Rams. The Rams beat them in the playoffs, and the Rams um, beat them in the regular season last year, or did they beat the Rams? I can't remember, but they've developed a little bit of a rivalry. So they've kind of been fighting back and forth here for the last couple of years, and everyone kind of uses the Jared Goff contract as a comparison for the Dak Prescott contract, because if you were going to take right now, Snow, you can only draft 2 quarterbacks, and you could draft Goff or you could draft Dak Prescott. Which one would you take?
Golf.
There is a wrong answer. What'd you say?
Golf.
Incorrect. That is the wrong answer. You would take Dak Prescott without even thinking about it. Goff is horrendous. Anyway, we will keep moving even though you just said something ridiculous. Okay. So let's go ahead, go week 2. Week 2 is the Cowboys
Atlanta.
go home and the Atlanta Falcons fly into town. That's a 12 p.m. game. For you, that's like a 10 a.m. start there. So
Mhm.
who do you got in this game and tell me why?
This one probably be a little bit difficult to pick. I mean, you got Hotlanta coming in and it's at home for you or for Dallas, so I could, go with that dirty bird, or I can go riding with the boys. But you know what? I'm actually gonna pick the boys this time. I'm gonna go with the
Okay.
boys.
I'm actually going to go opposite. I'm going to say they lose here. Um, I think that what are your reasons? Why do you think the Cowboys are going to win this game?
Well, if I could pull up what I just want to see where Atlanta's schedule quickly before.
So I know that Atlanta signed Todd Gurley during the offseason. And he went to the University of Georgia, so he's returning back home to the state of Georgia. A lot of fans there. Seem to make a lot of sense. You get another guy.
Oh,
ano-
I may have to change my answer because yeah, and actually no, it'll be the boys because Hotland's gonna have to play against me first. They're gonna have to come. They're gonna have to play the
Yeah, that goes.
Seahawks
Yeah, they
down
start.
in Atlanta. So
Yeah.
just to give it a 2 to come to Dallas with 2 losses, or they're going to leave Dallas with 2 losses. Yeah, I think that's going to happen.
Okay, so you think that the Falcons are going to start the season 0-2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I just think that in the past the Falcons have kind of given the Cowboys a little bit of a fit. I don't think that the Cowboys have a DB that is capable of covering Julio Jones. Um, we'll see what they look like as far as the ability to stop the run with Todd Gurley in the backfield, and we'll see what that looks like. But I just think it's one of those games that I think it's going to be close. Don't get me wrong. I think the game will be very
Oh yeah.
close, decided by 3 points or less. I think it's going to be very, very close. So, but I'm going to give them a loss there. You're going to give them a win, but we'll move on to week 3. Week 3 is the Dallas Cowboys travel to
Me.
Seattle to take on the Seattle Seahawks. I think we'll probably both be in agreement here. But there's a lot of things up in the air for Seattle right now. There's Jadeveon Clowney is still unsigned. We're
Oh
we're
yeah.
we're looking to see if what am I thinking? If Antonio Brown or Josh Gordon is going
Oh
to
God.
is going to sign. I
That was
think
that was that was my other thing I should have said when in other news earlier. It's like, how the heck is the Seahawks thinking about getting Antonio Brown and the trail of fire he has left behind him in the last several, little while. It's like, don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but off the field, he's just napalming stuff behind him.
Well, I'll tell you this on the Antonio Brown topic. I think that Antonio Brown is going to is I think ultimately when it comes down to it, I think he's going to sign with Seattle. I think that Seattle will develop a contract that gives them that is very incentive based, that gives him a chance to make some money as long as he kind of handles his business and doesn't bring all that off the field stuff. And then I think that if he does bring that off the field stuff, Seattle's going to have multiple outs in that contract that give them a way to get out without losing too much money. And I think that's just kind of a marriage waiting to happen. And I think it's going to happen. And so we'll see what happens. And I'm hopeful for it because, like you said, on the field, Antonio Brown is the best in the NFL. but
Mhm.
it's off the field stuff that you're like, well, if we can get this guy to act right for just for a little bit so that we can win some games or whatever. And we're still waiting on a potential suspension from the NFL.
Mhm.
What is Roger Goodell going to say when he does sign with the team? And I think if we get into a situation where there is an Antonio Brown sighting in the Pacific Northwest, then I think that people are gonna lose their mind, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
regardless of all the off the field stuff, you're gonna have your people that aren't gonna like it and all that. But when he gets on the field, I mean, he proved in New England with the one game that he had in New England, he scored a touchdown, a simple go route off the left side of the field, up the sideline, and and there we go. I mean, for a touchdown, it could happen in a heartbeat. Is Mama Snow over there hating on Antonio Brown because he was a
Come on,
Raider?
come here quick. Oh no,
I know she's over
I
there.
got yeah, she's a Raider, but I got something for you of what Mama Snow thinks of Mr. AB,
Are we
Miss
talking?
Antonio Brown.
Can I swear on this?
Yes, you can. I know
He's
what?
a
Hey,
fucking
let's
nutcase.
limit the F words though. We don't need the F words.
No, you can limit the F words.
Sorry, he said I could.
But
He's a flippin' head case.
Yes, correct. That is absolutely correct.
His own worst enemy.
Yeah.
An idiot.
Yep.
What other adjectives do you want me to throw out there? I am so
I mean,
glad he's not a Raider anymore.
yeah, I think I think we've covered it there. Yeah, that's good. You've pretty much said everything, and you're absolutely right. And I would not disagree with you for a second. But I think if there's a coach somewhere, if that's Pete Carroll, great. If it's not, well, that sucks. But I would just say that I'm hopeful that he can be the guy that can kind of reel him in and say, hey, let's act right. Your NFL life is on the line here.
yeah,
Hopefully that happens.
I will laugh
Hopefully.
my ass off if they do.
They will. Just already mark it up because it's gonna happen.
You say mark it up. It's gonna happen.
He is such.
Hey, our boy Walkley here says, if I can get this comment to pop up, it's acting crazy. There it goes. He said, I don't really think Snow is at CenturyLink right now. Are you at CenturyLink? Because it looks to me like you're at CenturyLink. He says that you can't fool him.
This is the Clink.
Yeah, Snow lives at the Clink.
Right, our banners are right here.
Yeah.
This is
yeah, bro. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. So that's gonna happen. But let's go ahead, Snow. What do you got? Week 3, Cowboys at Seahawks. Who do you think's winning?
And that was the rare sighting of Mama Snow.
Yes, Mama Snow in the house.
Yeah. But yes, I'm going to pick the Seahawks over the boys.
Okay. So you think the boys lose here? I'm with you. I think they lose as well. You have the Cowboys at 1-2, and I also have them at 1-2. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's see. Okay, week 4. We got the Cleveland Browns taking on the Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium. What do you think here?
All I could say is if the boys do not beat the Browns, good God, then the season's really in trouble. You know you're in trouble if you cannot beat the Browns.
Well, you know what? I'll say this. I don't think that the Browns are going to be bad this year. I think that they're going to be good. I think they have a real chance at winning their division, potentially the Ravens will probably win the Super Bowl this year, but if they don't, we'll see. But I think that the Browns have a chance at winning their division, and if they don't, I think they're going to be good enough to be a wild card team because let's face it, the AFC wild card teams are never that great. But
my thing is
I'm rooting for the Browns, but I don't think they're winning this game. I think the Cowboys come out on top in this game. I'm getting a sense that you're going the same direction.
The boys win this one. I'm going to say the boys win this one. It's just going to be a laughable moment if the Browns beat the Cowboys. I'm going to laugh my butt off Because if the Browns beat the boys, then the boys' season is seriously in trouble.
Right.
It's the Cleveland Browns, guys. Come on. I mean, yeah, we could hype them up and say, oh yeah, they made good signings, they made good, picks and everything. It's like, it's the Cleveland Browns, people. They always find a way to shank themselves and end up on the bottom end of the spectrum.
Dude, we both know this, right? We know that the Browns have kind of historically done this, and it is what it is. What did Mama Snow say?
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So I think the Browns are going to be okay. I think they're not going to win this game. But that's fine. But I think Odell is about to have a resurgence this year. He has had a off-season groin surgery, one that he's been kind of delaying for a couple of seasons. I think Odell's getting ready to explode. Baker has basically shut up and stayed off of social media and is handling his business. I think Baker and Odell and everyone else, Jarvis Landry, all those guys, Nick Chubb, they're going to come to the football field and they're going to be ready to play. I don't think there's going to be any of that fake hype type stuff. I think they're going to be ready. We'll just have to see where they end up. But like I said, I think they're good. I don't think that they're going to beat the Cowboys here, but that's fine. Let's go week 5. Week 5, the New York Giants traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. What do you got there?
Oh, this one's going to be one of those tough fought matchups here. Of course, it's AFC. It's an NFC East matchup right here. This is going to be one of those important games you need to win in order to, control your own destiny. And, well, you're going to be at home for this game. So I think that this is going to be one of those games where they're going to probably split. So I'm going to go for this round. They're going to win.
The Cowboys are going to win.
Yeah. Cowboys are going to win against the Giants at home.
Yeah, the Cowboys have owned the Giants of just recent matchups, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Daniel Jones still has a lot of growing to do. The Giants don't really have any receivers, and so there's a lot of stuff there that the Giants need to improve on. I think this is going to be a relatively easy win. I think Cowboys win somewhere around by 10 or 13 points, something like that. So we'll keep it moving here. We're going to roll on to week 6. Week 6 has the Arizona Cardinals traveling to the Dallas Cowboys. That is a 7:15 p.m. ESPN game. What does that tell you? That tells you it's Monday Night Football. So
da-na-na.
So they're on Monday Night Football. You get Kyler Murray, you get DeAndre Hopkins, you get the Cardinals, you get Larry Fitzgerald traveling to Dallas. What we're talking about here now is Dallas is working on what's that, their 4th consecutive home game? Is that what we're talking about?
Cardinals,
let's see.
Giants, Browns. Nope, 3 straight. They're
3 straight. Okay.
Yep, because they go week 1, they're away. They're in Ram country. They come back home against the Falcons, and then they go back out on the road to the Hawks, and then they come straight home for 3.
Okay, so they got 3. So Cardinals coming to Dallas. What do you got?
I'm going to take that Desert Bird. This is going to be a Cardinal team that's probably going to come off a week 5 victory against the Jets.
Yep. I'm with you there, man. I think that Kyler Murray is just dynamic enough to beat the Cowboys. I think DeAndre Hopkins has proven over time that he's a headache for anyone to cover. I think that Larry Fitzgerald is still very productive. I think that the running back that they have in Arizona, they just signed him. They gave him a contract too. They traded for him last season. I'm blanking on his name right now. The kid from Miami.
We getting some love in here from Shane.
Yeah.
What's up, boys?
That's our boy Flex Shane saying what's up. So Shane, if you're watching this and if you can think of the guy's name that I'm thinking of, the running back for the Arizona Cardinals, I'm blanking on it right now for some reason. So I mean, they still have that guy Chase Edmonds, I believe. And then there's the other guy. I just don't know why I'm blanking on his name right now. But
I
anyway,
get
the Cardinals are a force. I think that the Cardinals, their weakness is going to be their defense, and that's a major problem. They don't have much depth. They don't, they're still kind of building that because they were so depleted when some of those guys went to other teams or retired. Drake, yes.
yeah.
Kenyon Drake.
Yep.
Drake. There he is. That's the running back for the Arizona Cardinals, who had a great second half of the season this last year, was killing it, is going to continue to do that. So, we both got a loss there for the Cowboys, and it is what it is. And sometimes you just lose these games. But let's go ahead. Let's move on. We're going to go to, let's see, we'll go week 7. Dallas Cowboys go to the Washington football franchise located in Washington, D.C. What do you think there, Snow? What do you got?
Again, this one's another East game. This one's going to be, a very important game. It's going to control their destiny. Let me see what Redskins are going to be coming off of, just so I can get. So week 7, they're going to.
I'll say here for myself,
the Giants. They're going to come off playing the Giants at MetLife. So that was you're going to have 2 back-to-back tough games right there. I'm going to go with the boys this time around. I'm going to go with the boys this time around.
So you think they win? I personally think the Redskins don't stand a chance. The last game in Redskins football history with the name Redskins was a massive blowout the last week of the regular season this last year. So, or I guess it was it was the last week of the regular season. It was a massive blowout. I don't think the Redskins stand a chance. They're not ready roster-wise, player-wise. The coach that they just hired is a good coach, Ron Rivera, formerly of the Carolina Panthers. I think that he's a good coach, but he just specifically has not had enough time with these players, with the roster, especially with the abbreviated offseason, all that type of stuff. It just hasn't been, what it should be. And there's just not enough time to turn anything around quite yet. So, that's fine there, and I just think that the Redskins don't stand a chance. So I got the Cowboys winning.
Whoa. They're not the Redskins anymore. Remember that. They're the DC team.
They're I don't know what you want to call them. The Washington Generals, the Washington Warriors, the Washington whatever.
Sentinels,
we'll call them that. So
right now
they lose 2. Then the Cowboys, week 8, travel to Philadelphia to face the Eagles.
The last of their
tough
first round. Last of their first round NFC East opponents. That one is going to be very interesting to say the least right here. I'm going to give it to the Eagles. I'm going to give it to the Eagles this time.
I'm with you there. I think that the Eagles find a way to win this game. They're at their home field. There's not going to be, according to the Philadelphia, I don't know what he is, mayor, the politicians there in Philly, saying there's going to be 0 fans in attendance at Eagles games. I don't think that's going to matter all that much because sometimes fans really help. Fans do help, but when it comes down to it, sometimes it's football players play, man. There's not a whole lot of stuff going on there that they can't handle. So I think that the Eagles squeak this one out. So I'm going to give the Cowboys a loss here. You're also going to give the Cowboys a loss here. But the cool thing about divisional opponents, you play them again. So
you play them twice.
Week 9, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Snow, tell me what you got there.
I got Pitt picking up the
Pittsburgh.
Vic.
Okay.
It's going to be a tough game right there. I'll give it to Pitt. I mean, this one will be a close one, I think. This will be a close one.
So I have the Cowboys losing as well here in this spot. I think this Pittsburgh is probably one of the best coached teams in all of football. Think about the Pittsburgh. If you could Google it for me real quick, you could pull up the Steelers record from last season. They didn't have a quarterback after week 2. They had this dude Duck Hodges. Then they had, what's the other guy's name? Mason Rudolph or whoever. I don't even know who they had. They had these just random dudes left and right, trying to, play quarterback. And I just think that, whatever record they ended up with, I think they were pretty good, man. I think they were around 8 wins or something like that. Do you have it in front of you?
I'm pulling it up right now. I'm getting very
Okay.
I just
Yeah, I
gotta
just
get
think
to
that. Yeah, I think Mike Tomlin's a great coach. I think that they have some defensive pieces. They got T.J. Watt, which kind of makes Cowboy fans kind of sick because they had an opportunity to draft him, and they chose to draft Taco Charlton instead of T.J. Watt, which is just insane. And so, yeah, I mean, I think Pittsburgh wins here. I'm actually predicting that this game goes into overtime, and Pittsburgh pulls out a win in overtime.
Okay, I have last year's team. Let's see what their final. I mean, yeah, they had Devlin Hodges and Paxton Lynch as their quarterbacks. And
no, not Paxton Lynch. They had Paxton Lynch?
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
the 2019 Pittsburgh's Steelers final roster: Devlin Hodgins, number 6, and Paxton Lynch, number 5.
Okay. Yeah. So you got Pittsburgh there. That's fine. I got Pittsburgh there. So let's move on. Let's see. Week 10.
They are on a bye.
Yeah, week 10 is a bye, so they can't possibly lose there. Week 11, you got Dallas traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Vikings have been very good as of late. Their defense has been solid. Last time the Cowboys played the Vikings, Dak Prescott threw for 300 plus yards. It's a battle of the Diggs, or I guess it's not a battle of the Stephon Diggs is in Buffalo. I keep forgetting that. But it would have been a battle of the Diggs brothers. But here, I'm actually giving the Cowboys a win, kind of a statement win for their team. I think the Cowboys are going to find a way to pull this game out. I think it's going to be a little bit of one of those games where neither defense can stop a thing, and they're going to run the score up. But I personally believe that the Cowboys are going to pull out a W right here.
Give me the Vikings.
Okay.
Those purple people eaters are just too much to handle right now.
Okay. You're really hating on the Cowboys right now.
Or at least going to be hopefully at that time.
Okay. So, yeah, that's week 11. Week 12,
that would be DC one more time.
Yeah, we got Washington traveling to Dallas this time. And like I said earlier, I don't think that I think the Redskins are the Washington team is very dysfunctional, and I don't think they stand a chance. And so I'm gonna give the Cowboys a win there. What do you think?
Well, this is also going to be the after Thanksgiving game, or the day after. Sorry, it's going to be the day after. But I'm going to give it to Dallas. This is going to be another slaughter of Washington in Dallas.
Okay.
It's just tradition.
So so we move on. Week 13, we have Dallas traveling to Baltimore. Ooh. I think that the Cowboys get gushed here. I think they kind of take a little bit of a beat down from Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. I think that the Ravens are a team that is going to be heavily considered in a Super Bowl conversation, or a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how you feel about it, but
that Raven is just going to be dressed in black and ready to kill. Give me you think
Ravens. The Cowboys take an L there in your opinion also? Okay. Oh, yeah. Let's go week 14. Week 14, we have the Cowboys traveling to Cincinnati, Ohio to take on the Bengals. I do not see the Bengals beating the Cowboys here. I'm going to take the Cowboys for a win there.
Cowboys.
What do you think? Yep.
It's just Cincinnati's just so iffy. I mean, they're one of those teams where you they're like a coin flip. You could pick either way, but again, just gotta be the right time of the year, and hopefully by that time, it's either Cincinnati is going to be okay, and they're going to be looking like a team, or it's just Dallas is just going to come in too strong for them, especially coming off of an ass whooping probably that they're going to get from Baltimore.
Right. So we'll see what happens there. Trying to fix our thing that we got here. Let's see. Am I going with the right one? Tell me, Snow. Am I going with the right one?
You got the Flex Network with the Flex, and you got Mr.
Yeah.
Titan down here.
Okay, we got Derrick Henry down there. Yeah, but
Oh, Henry.
But yeah, anyway, so we're gonna move on here to our next game. Our next game is okay, we both gave them W's there in week 14. Week 15, we have the
Back
49ers traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. I'm actually thinking that the 49ers are going to win this game, so I'm going to give the Cowboys a loss, but I'm definitely going to be rooting for the Cowboys to win this game because I would love for them to beat the 49ers just personally. What do you think?
Yep, same here. This is going to be one of those you want to see the Niners cry and lose, but I don't know. It's just going to be very, very interesting to see. I'm actually going to go with you on this one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll do that. And let's see here. We got week 16. Trying to get there. Okay. We got the Eagles traveling to Dallas this time. This is a late game, 3:25 p.m. on Fox here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm actually going to give the Cowboys a win here. I think that they beat the Eagles this time. They lost to the Eagles in Philly. What do you think? What do you got?
I'm going to give it to Philly. This is going to be another one of those close matchups. I mean, think about it. We're getting into the last 2 weeks of the season.
Yep.
16 and 17. These are going to be hopefully, at least what everyone's going to be thinking as these are going to be the matches that's going to determine the boys if they're in the playoffs, if they're the top of the NFC East, or if they're coming in as a wild card, or they're on their way out.
Right. So you think the Eagles win and they sweep the Cowboys this season?
Yep.
Okay.
Philly just knocks them straight out.
Okay, so let's go week 17.
And they are back. They go back to New York.
Yeah, I don't think that New York is going to be competitive on the level that the Cowboys are. So I'm going to give the Cowboys a win here also.
Who would I give the last victory to between the Giants and the boys? The first round.
Do you remember what week it was?
5.
Week 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You gave the win to the Cowboys.
Then this one, I'm going to have to give it to the Giants.
Ooh.
Yeah, this one's going to be a split. I'm splitting this one.
Okay, Snow, I'll have you know something, okay? There's going to be a lot of Cowboys fans who are going to be mad with you. You know that?
Because I'm safely up here with Seahawk Nation up here, so I'm pretty good in my location.
Okay, so you have put the Cowboys at 6-10 on the season. Do you realize that?
Oh, I really thought that I was good. I thought it was a lot closer than when I posted on.
No, sir. And I have them at 9-7. I have them playing several close games down the stretch. And by the stretch, I mean the last 5 games or so. So that 9-7 could turn around and be, they could turn out to be 12-4. They could be 11-5. They could be 10-6. Who knows? So We'll see exactly what happens there. But, I think there's a lot of Cowboys fans out there that are going to be very upset that you just put them at 6-10. You think the
Yeah,
Dallas
but
Cowboys, with the loaded roster that they have, are going to be 6 wins and 10 losses? That's what you believe.
yeah, again, this is one of those things where remember, this is the NFC East. It's a weak division. Again, it's
Yeah,
a
it
weak
is. It is
division,
weak.
and it's the joke of the entire league. But somehow one of these teams that wins the NFC East squeaks in, and they get slaughtered by their first round opponent in the wild card.
Well, I don't think
So
that they
again,
squeak in. If you win your division, you deserve the right to
well,
to
true,
host a playoff game. That's the way that it works.
but when you have a
Um,
weak, when you have a weak win loss ratio, it's like you squeak in compared to
but
these
you
other
also have to
guys.
remember. You also have to remember that the Seahawks one year we won our division at 7-9. Okay, we weren't even at 500. Oh, so you want
Yeah,
to ignore that now?
yeah,
Okay.
no, I know that. I'm like, yeah, I can't really say anything about that.
But that was the year of the Beastquake, so it turned out
Yeah,
to be a pretty good year.
uh-huh.
Um, so I see we got some people watching, good chunk of
And
people watching
well,
now. So if anyone has any comments or questions, feel free to drop them in there. We'll gladly answer them. One thing I'll say is I have put Snow has put the Cowboys at 6-10. I put them at 9-7 with a potential to get up to 11 wins because I think there's a lot of close games there towards the end. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see if Mike McCarthy has his team humming or what's going on there. But
or if
Snow,
it's the same old boys.
let's go ahead and close this down. I wanted to say that you can like us on Facebook. The Flex Network is on Facebook. Just search the Flex Network. We're there. You can like us, follow us, all that good stuff. If you're a podcast listener, we're on every podcasting platform. And you can find us there. Just search the Flex Network on whatever platform you use, whether it's Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Podbean. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on what else am I missing? Stitcher. We're on everything. So just search for us there. You'll find all of our stuff.
If you can't
If you want
find
to
us,
follow the Flex
let us
Network
know.
on Twitter, yes. If it's on something that you use and we're not on there for some reason, let me know personally because I'll make sure that it happens. But if you want to follow the Flex Network on Twitter, we are at the Flex Network 1 on Twitter. A lot of football and fantasy football content there. If you want to follow our Flex Network wrestling account, it is at FlexNet_PW Elite. Very heavy wrestling focus on that account. So follow us there. You can one of the things that I wanted to say specifically is if you listen to our podcast and you download our podcast, please give us a review on there. Let us know. Give us a 5-star review. We'd really appreciate it. We're trying to grow our audience there. So we would love that. If you want to reach me personally on Twitter, you can reach me at FlexMike11 on Twitter. And the SnowMan, if you want to reach him on Twitter, you can reach him at AJSDeadSnow on Twitter. He's there. He's got the wrestling stuff on his personal account. He's got football stuff on his personal account. And Snow's also doing some other stuff with some kind of nerd related gaming, that type of stuff. So you can find all that stuff there. You can get down on that. But SnowMan, last words for the people before we're out.
Well, last words for the people is I hope we have a good NFL season, knowing that we're probably not going to be seeing college football till at least spring. So hopefully we have something, and thank God we're coming up on hockey soon, coming back soon.
Oh, Snow, you got a little fight on your hands. Oh, okay. My boy Ryan says record wise, I need to go the one above it here. Hold on. There we go. He says 6-10. How about a $50 bet we finish better than the Seahawks? Take that bet, dude. You want to take that bet or what?
What is your boy drinking today? I mean, is he sipping on that moonshine?
No, he might be on the tequila, but that's okay. But I think
sipping on that
he's
tequila,
dead serious.
All right, I can drop that. It's like $50 says the Seahawks do better than them boys.
So are we talking record wise or go further in the playoffs? Because we need to clarify that right now because the Cowboys can get, let's say hypothetically, the Cowboys get into the playoffs at 13-3 and we get in at 11-5 and we're a wild card and they're a number one team in the NFC.
I'm thinking it's
so you need to clarify.
Yeah, I think it's got to be if it's record wise, and then if both teams make the playoffs, it's whoever goes further.
Okay, so let's say who goes further when it's all said and done with.
Yeah, because I mean, if
so you're gonna tell me
don't make the playoffs, and if both teams don't make the playoffs, it's whoever has the better
record. Okay, both teams are gonna make the playoffs, I think. But here we go. Listen to this. I'm not gonna put this last comment. It's got his personal Cash App name on there. But listen, I will. I'll say this. Snow, right now, you yourself are committing to a $50 bet with my buddy Ryan Bean right here. Is that true?
I will say that the Seahawks will do better than the boys.
Okay, there it is. It's on the airwaves. Okay, you officially have your. He said it's a mic drop. No, you officially have yourself a $50 bet with Ryan, and he says deal. Here he is right here, so we can put it up here. People on YouTube can see it. He says deal. $50 bet that the Seahawks do better than the Cowboys this year. We're gonna see. I'm not dropping $50 because the NFL, you never know what could happen. Someone could get hurt. You just don't know what's going on. But you know what? I think that's it for us tonight. We appreciate our viewers. We appreciate our listeners. As for the SnowMan and I'm Flex Mike, we will catch you guys later. Peace.